Hey, Voices of Hope Summit speakers. Whoop, whoop. Congratulations. It is coming up this Wednesday, May 1st, and you are going to be spotlighted in front of lots of people, and they're going to hear your message. Don't let that make you nervous. Actually, get excited about it because you're going to be sharing something that you're passionate about, that is important to you, that is directly related to you. You've had a personal experience with it. This is great. We don't often take time to listen to young people and hear the genius, amazing people that they are. So I'm excited that all of you have this opportunity. This video, however, is to talk a little bit more about technology because you're on a virtual summit, which means technology is going to be your best friend, and you need to add to that friendship by making sure that you are as prepared as possible to make yourself shine. If you were speaking on an actual in-person live stage, you would dress nicely, perhaps in a professional looking outfit. You would be comfortable with the shoes that you're wearing. You would probably have had a good breakfast. You would have hopefully gotten some good sleep the night before so that there's nothing distracting you from giving your absolute best energy in front of your audience. That's what speakers do. That's how we connect with the audience. So I want you to do that. Even though it's virtual, I want you to think about this as being a live in-person stage and you have to go through the same process. But if you were, you'd also make sure that your stage looks its best. You'd get familiar with how much room you had, how you were going to walk around and blocking. Now in an online setting, you don't necessarily need to do that. But here are some key things that you need to consider and make sure that you are prepared for on Wednesday. The number one thing is because your audience may not be visible to you, your interviewer will take charge of that, but because they may not be visible, it's awkward to not look at anybody, and you might find that you're looking at your interviewer's video, which may be me or someone else. So when you are in an online meeting and you are speaking, you look at the camera of your device. As counterintuitive as that may seem, that is how you do it. That's how you make the connection with your audience in an online setting, is that you actually don't look at your audience. You look at the camera. Now, when your interviewer is asking you a question, you can certainly look at that person while they're asking you a question. But when you begin to speak, you look at the camera, as I am doing right now. And I'm hopefully you guys can see that by looking at the camera, it might feel to you as though I'm literally talking to you. Now, if I look down like this at someone who might be talking, then you can see how that immediately changes perhaps my connection with you, because I could be looking at anybody right now. But when I turn my eyes up to the camera now, hopefully you feel like I'm looking at you. So make sure you do that. It's awkward. Put a little sticky if you have to on top of your device that says, look here, or have a picture of a cute dog or something behind the camera so that you're looking at that. And just remember to do that. That is probably the most important thing you can do to make a connection with your audience, okay? Second thing you want to consider is this video is your stage. And just like you would dress up and wear comfortable shoes if you were speaking in person, well, when you get on this stage, you need to look your best. And that's going to include lighting. Lighting is essential for you to look your best and for people to view you as someone who's credible. So consider being in a room that has good natural lighting. That I don't want you sitting in front of a window where the sun is shining directly on your face. That's not helpful, and it's going to give you strange colors and wash you out. So don't do that. But if you have a north-facing window, what I mean by that is a window in your house or at school or wherever you're going to be that faces north. So you'd be facing north as you were looking out that window. That is going to give you the most natural blue light that will benefit the way you look on your virtual stage. If that's not possible, then at least get somewhere where you're in as much natural light as possible without actually having the sun beating down on you. Okay. And if you can make it from all angles. Now you can also use some lamps. If you have a lamp, don't shine it right in front of you. Have a couple of lamps that are sort of at an angle to you that are shining on your face, because if you have it just right in front of you, it's going to blind you. But if you only have one, then it's going to create shadows on the other side of your face. So a couple of lamps that are diagonal to you, that are facing you, that can also help too. I have to do that sometimes when I'm traveling and I'm in a hotel room or something like that. That's what I have to do. So it can work. So lighting is the next thing. So eye contact, lighting. The next thing is your balance in your video. Okay. Now you want people to see you from about the chest up. You don't want a whole lot of room at the top. You can see that I'm standing up actually, and you can see that I have a little bit of room on top so that my head isn't being cut off like this, and that I have a somewhat balanced amount of room on each side of me. I want you to think about that. Okay? Think about when you get on and you look at yourself once you're on screen, find the balance and make sure that there's not too much room above you, but that we can see you from about here up. Don't do this. And don't be like this either. Okay, you can see how unattractive both of those scenarios are. Or if you're like this, that doesn't work either. Or if you're looking at a second screen. All right, so all of those things will discount your credibility as a speaker. Don't do that. Looking at the camera, balanced on your stage, good lighting. The next thing is, where is the camera in height to you? All right, if you're like this because the camera is way higher than you are, that's not going to look good either. So the camera on your device needs to be as much as possible at eye level. That means you might have to, if you're using a laptop, you might have to get it on a box. You might have to stand it on a box so that that camera is eye level with you. Okay? Because there's nothing worse than having people kind of looking up at you like this, right? Or your camera's really tall and you're kind of looking up like that. It's not going to work. So as much as possible, have that camera at the same height. Also, what's in the background? What is in your background? Is it your bedroom? Please don't be in your bedroom if you can at all avoid it. And don't use the virtual backgrounds if you can avoid that too, because they will make your fingers disappear, parts of your head will disappear. Not attractive. So try to get rid of any virtual backgrounds, but do not, as much as possible, be in your bedroom. If you have to be in your bedroom, make sure your bed is made and that it's not cluttered. Because if eyes are turned towards something behind you, they're not listening to you anymore. And I want everybody to hear what you guys have to say. It's important. They need to know you're brilliant. The only way they're going to know that is if they're listening and they hear what you're saying. So don't cause any distractions. Have some plain background. It could be a wall. Kitchens are pretty well lit places. I guess you could be at a kitchen counter, maybe facing where the lights are, and maybe there's a distant background, maybe a couch or a TV or something in the distance, as long as the TV's not on. That would be okay, as long as they're not directly right behind you. If they're in the distance, that might be all right. But think about it. How distracting is my background? Are there dogs or cats walking around? Please don't have a cat walk in front of you as well. So put the cats out of another room, or dogs that might bark, something like that. Be prepared for those situations that may happen. It's only 25 minutes, so your cat can be in a box or outside the door for 25 minutes, okay? Just figure that out. So make sure that your background is not distracting, that it's pretty plain, and there's nothing that people are going to be trying to read behind you or anything like that, okay? So those are the top things. Eye contact, looking right at the camera, having the camera at the same level as your eyes is great. Balancing your stage, having good natural lighting on you, and not having a distracting background. That's going to be the biggest things for you. And then make sure that you get there 5 minutes before you need to be there. Don't just get there right when you're supposed to start speaking. Get there 5 minutes early. Let everybody relax because you're here. They will invite you back if you give them a good experience as well. And then listen to your interviewer, answer the questions through your stories and your experiences. Be very polite. Oh, thank you, ma'am. That's a great question. Or I really appreciate being in here today. It's an honor to be here. I'm so excited about it. Things like that. Just put on your most curious voices, but don't get into the habit of repeating yourself like, oh, that's a great question. Oh yeah, that's a really great question. Oh, that's a really good question. Don't repeat phrases like that. Be sincere and think about different ways to respond to give your brain time to catch up. Okay, I know this is going really fast because I'm trying to get it all in here for you so you can watch it before Wednesday. You should be getting a link to join the meeting. You may have gotten some swipe copy. That's if you want to send that to friends or family. And all of you probably have an image. Take a look at that because it's you in this promo for the summit, and it's kind of cool. So I will be probably sending out an email announcing all of you guys on the summit. So yeah, look forward to that and share it with your friends. Have them sign up to register and come hear you speak. Okay. So I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, you can reply to this email, text me, call me, whatever you need. But I'm going to be there on Wednesday. Either I'm in the audience or interviewing you. I don't know, but I will be there to support you anyway. And more instructions on the day, probably. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.